it is left for all of us to think. Will you, if you are coming from an African family or an Asian or Indian family, living perhaps in poverty, want to become a Christian after seeing all what the Christian people are doing? Yesteryears we forget, we forgive, we say, oh yes, the colonial Christians, they didn't know Jesus. We can say that the Christians who colonized other countries, they didn't know Jesus. We can also say that the people, Portuguese, Spaniards and Greeks, who were very violent and conquered many places, they were Catholics, they were not Christians. We can argue in many different ways about the past. What about the present? We live in an age where we know much more than those people did. Everybody has a Bible in their hands, even in their pockets, in their phones they carry the Bible. What is the message of the Bible? Does the Bible say, kill each other? Let me tell you, there is only one religion in the world that sanctioned killing. There is only one religion in the world that sanctioned killing others. So, if you are in that religion, you may be doing your prayers regularly. You may be doing your pilgrimages regularly. You may be giving aid to people regularly. You may be living a very sanctified life in the sight of others regularly. And you may be keeping their fasts regularly. Even then, your sins may not be fully forgiven. Even then, there will be some sin left for which you would have to go to hell and you would be punished there. And after that, they would make a way for you from hell to heaven. And that is also a very difficult road and almost impossible to cross. It's a bridge which is very narrow, very, very thin. And it is almost impossible for anybody to cross it. Which means, regardless of how much righteousness you do, because you have some sin left, which could be the sin from your past, sin need to be punished. God is just. Any sin, every sin, even the little sin will be punished. And you would go there and be punished. It's a kind of purgatory. But it is worse than purgatory because there is no guarantee that you would make it into the heavenly place. But there is a foolproof method to enter into heaven, and that method is to kill somebody who doesn't believe what you believe. So you tell them, do you believe in this faith? And they say no. You kill them, and then you get into paradise. And in the paradise, whatever was forbidden on earth, you enjoy it more and more. There will be brandy, whiskey, beer, vodka, whichever brand you want. You will find every alcoholic drink that you didn't drink on planet Earth. And you would find beautiful women. Perhaps that is what women are created for recreation of men. And all these things are for men. And men will enjoy these women, sleep with them, and then these women, they would not lose their virginity, they would become virgin again. I don't know what is so great about being a virgin or consistently remaining a virgin, because if you are a virgin, you cannot give birth to a child, and once you give birth to a child, you are no longer a virgin. And I believe that child birth is something that makes a woman fulfilled in a sense. In many cultures, that's how they view it. But this is the thing. You will enjoy life maximum in that kind of paradise, which could be compared to Los Angeles or Las Vegas of today, which they consider, the people of this faith today consider as sinful. So that kind of paradise will be available to you, and the foolproof way is to kill the other. If you don't like that guy, if you think that guy is not believing in your God in the way you tell him to believe, even if he is of your religion, you can kill him. And that is a foolproof method of reaching paradise. I believe nobody who has a sane mind and living in this age would want to join that religion. because they would say it is better to have no religion than to think that killing somebody else would give me paradise. But on the other hand, we have somebody who died for the sins of the whole world. And there's a whole lot of people preaching, like around 30% of the world is preaching that Jesus Christ is Lord and He died for the sins of humans. And if you believe in Him, He will forgive your past sins. And you will have life in the age to come. And in the age to come, there will be no violence, there will be no death, no disaster, no disease, no devil to deceive people. Everything is going to be perfect. People would not be hating each other, doing violence. People would be loving one another, preserving their world, and which would be renovated in the most ideal way. And they would have bodies that would last forever and would never perish. So this is the vision that the people of Jesus Christ espoused. This is the vision that they have, that in the age to come, they would be there with Jesus, and they would be not lying with virgins. They would be lying with all kinds of animals and people, and everybody would be there. But nobody would harm anybody else. Wild beasts would not kill each other for food, because there would be no death. Nobody would harm each other. There would be a perfect, non-violent paradise here on earth, the New Jerusalem. Jesus would come down and the New Jerusalem will be established here. The present Jerusalem is filled with violence, but the New Jerusalem, there will be no violence. There would be an ideal life, and all people will be living at peace with each other and with animals. And people would not kill animals for food. Animals won't kill animals for food. So that is the highest ideal Christianity aspires. And when you look at India, when you look at Bharat, we already are living at peace with animals. We don't kill animals. For centuries, we even respect the lives of elephants and snakes and wild beasts, which we may think are harmful to us. We try to live at peace with each other. India is a country that is engaged in the least number of wars, despite being completely different from the rest of the people who are surrounding us. Muslims are surrounding us, Jewish people are surrounding us, white Christians are surrounding us, but we don't go for a war with them. We don't fight them, we don't harass them, we don't hurt them, we don't attack them. We know how to live at peace with each other and in harmony. And this land has respected people of all faiths. And people still compare our tolerance with other people's tolerance, and I wonder where we stand. We are much more tolerant. India is much more tolerant in comparison to the rest of the world, who kill idol worshippers at will, who kill people if they refuse to believe in their own religion. But if you come to India, there are Syrian people, persecuted people, Christian people persecuted by Muslims, one God people persecuted by another one God people group, and they came here. Jewish people persecuted by Muslims, one God people persecuted by another group of one God people. Monotheists killing monotheists, and monotheists coming here, and polytheists giving them a space to live and survive. We have Iranian people, Persian people persecuted by Muslims, Mohammedans in Iran, who came here to escape, and they are a thriving community in our country. And we have Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, and we have atheists of different kinds, communists. We have every kind of people. But we have a culture that is very close to ahimsa, non-violence. And I believe that culture is being preserved even today. And perhaps that is the reason why Bharatiya Janata Party and Modi ji is getting elected. Because people generally don't like violence. People generally don't like hatred. They want love, peace and harmony, even if they are poor. And to these people, 90% of them who do not believe in Jesus, we gospel workers are presenting Jesus. Well, Jesus is not a foreign God. Certainly, he is a Middle Eastern God, a person who came for the salvation and rescue of Israel, who was preacher of non-violence and love. Even Gandhiji loved Jesus' teaching. He used Jesus' teaching against a violent British oppressor and succeeded in the sight of many people. But there were other factors. They say it was war that was going on, and because of the war, British people had to give us freedom. They didn't actually want to do it. Whatever the reason be, our culture has survived without Jesus, without the teachings of the Bible, and we still are much more peaceful in comparison to America, in comparison to North America, South America, Europe, in comparison to the Middle East. Then people would naturally ask, well, Jesus came to Palestine and he lived there 30 years. Jesus was the bringer of peace. Is there peace in Palestine? Is there peace in Israel? Is there peace between Arabs and Jews, whose books are almost similar when we look at it from our perspective? They don't even know how to live at peace with each other. Within their community, how will they teach us peace? And that is true. Look at the big picture, my dear friend. Look at the big picture. I am still advocating Jesus Christ only. I still believe that Jesus Christ would come again, but Jesus is not going to come and save and establish his kingdom with people who delight in killing others. Now, this is the kind of equivalence that they bring. So if I were to argue and say that killing is bad, killing is wrong, and therefore these wars need to be stopped, they would say, well, Manoj, you don't see there is sin within you. You feel angry at people and you want to kill them. And it is true. And that sin is equal to the murders committed by Vladimir Putin, if you call him a murderer, which I don't, because he personally is not killing anybody, and the sins committed by Hitler, whatever be. You are doing the same thing. This is the kind of equivalence that the Pharisees were bringing between idol worshippers and Jewish people who just sat and ate food with idol worshippers. Those Jewish people who were tax collectors did not do direct idol worship. They never did it. They just went to idol worshippers' houses and ate with them. And there were these kind of people who are equating murder and anger today using Jesus' own hyperbolic words. Those kinds of people were there at that time also. And they would say, well, the Roman is doing idol worship, you are sitting with him and eating, and you are also an idol worshipper, because both of you are doing idol worship. If you just sit and eat with an idol worshipper, you became an idol worshipper. You may not be worshipping any idol in your heart. You may be much better than the Pharisee who has so many idols of power and lust and money in his heart. But still, because you ate in the sight of other people with an idol worshipper, you are the idol worshipper. It's called false equivalence. Jesus was exposing these false equivalences of Jewish people when he said that you are equating tax collectors' actions with idol worshippers, and it is not correct. Only if a person directly worships idols or eats in an idol temple like an idol worshipper, you must consider them as an outcast. Otherwise, they are part of your community. You need to try to bring them back. Love them, help them. That's what you should be doing.